It's pretty rare for myself to find a pistol that is budget friendly while also not being a huge pile of trash. Generally speaking, we kind of steer away from some of the real budget friendly options out there because they generally turn out to be garbage. And I'm just not going to sit here and make a review about a gun that I'm like, well, that thing's so we don't do that. But what I'll tell you is that when I saw the Fusion Firearms XP Pro show up on the internet and started seeing some of that stuff, I thought, man, I think I'd like to try that. Well, here we are. This is the Fusion Firearms XP Pro. So Fusion did this pistol in collaboration with Ergonomics. Ergonomics has obviously been around for a while, and to get this out right away, Ergonomics is a Turkish-based company that produces higher end, let's say 2011s and parts and things like that. So Fusion did this in collaboration with them, and this thing has a lot of nice featured parts on here, really nice parts, and it's really, really well done. The fit and finish of this pistol, when you pick it up, it feels absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you that if you were to tell me that this is a $1,000 pistol, I would tell you you're lying. I think it easily feels more than that. Do I think that it's like up in that $3,000 range? No, I don't. But do I think that this pistol, without a doubt, after picking it up, feels like it should cost more? Yes, I do. Well, what makes this thing special from the other, let's just say Turkish-based 2011s? Well, this takes Glock mags. And as you've seen, the Stealth Arms Platypus has taken the market by storm because it takes Glock magazines instead of 2011 or STI mags. So it's really good to see that somebody else was able to produce a pistol that's significantly cheaper than a Platypus and still maintain a very high level of quality. And we'll get into all of the features of this pistol. This could be very in-depth for you. We'll shoot it a lot because whenever you're coming out with something new like this, the biggest question is it reliable? So we'll determine that. With all that stuff being said, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, please. Like the video, share it with your friends. It helps push the 2A message. And if you're curious about anything throughout the video, clothing, gear, whatever it might be, there is a link in the description down in the comments section below. Go to that. It will take you to our website and it'll have everything that you may be looking for. So with this pistol, again, the number one thing that really sets this thing apart is the fact that it takes Glock magazines. You get 2 of them with the pistol when you get it. They fit very well, and in fact, it actually has a polymer magazine release. Now, if you're familiar with Glock magazines, you need to have a polymer magazine release because it will chew up or ruin either the magazine release or your magazines. But they feel good, they go into the pistol well, and the button works really nice. No issues. In fact, like for myself, I'm not really breaking my grip or anything like that to hit the button. And I find that easier to do than what I would see on like a staccato. So that's really great to see as well. Now, after that, of course, you're looking at fitment. How's the fitment on the pistol? It's good. It's very, very good. I can't sit here and tell you that it sounds as like buttery smooth as a really well broken in like 2011 or anything like that, or really high end, but it is smooth. It doesn't hang up on the ejector. In fact, I would tell you that the slide to frame fitment on this pistol feels better than what we have on our Prodigy. If you're familiar with the Prodigy, we really like those pistols. I think they're great options if you don't want to spend $2,000 plus on a 2011. So this thing, you know, the frame fitment on here is really good. There's no wobble in this thing, and it feels really nice. It's nice too because it has very nice slide serrations up here, almost like a tri-top, where it's serrated across the top, good up here, and then on here, they actually purposely cut out like lightning cuts out here in the front because Fusion's gonna offer services through them in Florida, because that's where they're based out of, to where you can get parts on this pistol changed out at a factory setting from Fusion and not send it overseas. So everything you're handling, let's say warranty or service work, whatever it might be, or if you want updates or upgrades added to this pistol, you can send it right to Fusion in Florida and get that stuff done. So they put these lightning cuts in here with the idea that if somebody wanted to get this gun ported, you could. So that's nice to see. Now the sights on here, they are Novak. You'll notice that this is actually optics cut as well. The rear optic or plate that was on here had a sight on it that was user adjustable for windage and elevation. So really great stuff there. Then obviously, as you see, it came with a really nice RMR plate that sits low on the pistol. These are not super tall sights. These are probably somewhere in between, like, you know, standard height sights to suppressor height, so not real tall. And I get a very nice, let's say, lower 1/3 co-witness with this RMR on here. The plate and fitment on here was fantastic. In fact, what I'll mention is that there wasn't like any slop or anything like that when I actually slapped the plate on there. So there are recoil bosses that were milled into the slide itself. And then when the plate went on there, you screwed the plate down, and then you actually mounted your optic on here, which just had recoil bosses as well. for your RMR, and it gets a good seal, so you actually don't need a sealing plate then with the RMR with this plate system. So good stuff there. Now the trigger on here, it's a very nice flat and serrated trigger. It feels fantastic, and the reach on it is really, really natural. I'm not having to curl my finger in a whole bunch or anything like that, and it's a very nice crisp break. I mean, there's a short bit of take up there, and then a wall and no creep. Just what you would expect from, let's say, a higher end trigger. So if you're looking at Fusion, they've been making really nice 1911s for a long time. So they have some pedigree when it comes to that stuff. So how the trigger actually performs feels good. I would say it's probably a 4 pound to 4.5 pound trigger, and it's a good overall breaking weight with a good crisp break. Now the beaver tail or grip safety on here, you'll see actually has a nice memory bump and everything like that. It's fit very well. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. And they clearly did a nice job when they were trying to fit these pistols to make sure that when they did that, it didn't have sharp edges or nothing was sloppy. There is nothing sloppy about this pistol. Now I've seen some slop in some of the TSOS pistols. You know, that's obviously a big competitor to your more budget-friendly 2011s. So I've seen some of that stuff, and these, the overall fit and finish does seem inherently better than those by a large margin. And then you get into something that I think is a really neat feature. The really neat feature on this thing is actually going to end up being the slide stop slide release lever. Now it's actually elongated. So normally for myself, if I want to release a slide, I have to come up and, generally speaking, with a 2011, hit it with my support hand. With this pistol, coming over, I can easily lock the slide back, and I can also easily release the slide with my gun without ever breaking my grip. It's a lot like how I would normally shoot a striker fire gun. So for me, that's a really nice feature to have. Now the safeties on here, they do feel good. They're not super loud detents, but the overall fit and function of them is good. There's no binding or crunching or slop in them whatsoever either. All of that stuff is great. Now the grip. What's strange about this pistol is that it does feel slightly different than what you would normally be accustomed to with a 2011. I've shot the Platypus just a small amount, but what I'll tell you is that how this thing feels in your hand, it has a slightly different grip angle while also maintaining a very similar 1911 front strap. So what's that mean? Your actual grip length or width is a little bit wider than what you may find on a 2011, but in the same token, skinnier. So when you actually are clamping down the pistol, you really get a really good purchase on it, and it really feels like it's not going to go anywhere. Now sometimes with a 2011, depending on how they're textured or how they're contoured, you do start to get to the point where it feels like it almost wants to rotate in your hand. This doesn't feel like that. Now the little bit I've shot it, how it goes into your hand and how you really can grip the thing feels great. So, you know, good grip texture on the back. You have 25 lines per inch checkering there. A little bit of knurling on the front. That's probably one of the downfalls, I'd say, of the grip. For myself personally, give me as much grip texture as you can on a pistol. If it chews up my hands, that's fine with me. Even, you know, for carry wise, the right holster and how you wear it and all that stuff, you're not gonna have a lot of issues, but the side panel texturing is good. I like it. It's like a sharper, like dimpled golf ball texture, and it feels really nice. Outside of all that stuff, you know, obviously it has a pick rail up here. It does have a bull barrel, a bushingless bull barrel, I might add. And then in addition to that, it does have a full-length guide rod. It is not a toolless guide rod. Of course, you spend a lot of money on certain guns, you will get a toolless, but this is not. It's just a full-length guide rod. And again, like I said, the slide-to-frame fitment on this pistol is absolutely fantastic. How the mags fit with a Magwell that you can remove is great. In addition to that, something I don't want to forget about. So obviously, if you're going to carry the pistol, you may not actually want to use the Magwell. You may want to go for a little bit more of a slimmer profile. So if you remove this Magwell on here, which we won't be doing, if you remove it, you actually get a bobtail cut in the back of this pistol. So therefore, printing and how it fits when you're wearing this gun as a carry pistol is a little bit easier, and it's more comfortable as well. So you get all that stuff, and they really did a really great job. I haven't shot this thing enough at this point, but as soon as we get on the range, we're gonna run an absolute crap load of ammo through this thing. I'm not gonna talk a lot while I shoot it. We're just gonna get out there, we'll shoot a bunch of drills, we'll just let this thing run, we'll see how it does. So far as it sits here, it has 17 rounds through it. I shot one magazine exactly, and I didn't even zero the red dot. It shoots pretty close to where I wanted it to hit, of course. Most of the time, if you just kind of slave your red dot to start out, it will be good. So let's get out on the range, we'll shoot this thing, we'll see how it performs, but as this thing sits here, I'm absolutely loving it. To start out with the XP Pro from Fusion, what I'm going to do is confirm my zero at the pistol. After I do that, I have 100 rounds loaded up, or just over. I'm not going to talk at all through those 100 rounds. We're just going to get right into shooting it, and then I'll give you guys some thoughts. I do have some P-mags loaded up, so we'll see if they perform in this gun. I have no idea if they will or not. Obviously, we'll try that. I know my 19X mags they don't fit in this gun. I think it's, in fact, I think it's because of the Magwell and how that base pad is on those magazines. So let's give this a go. So there I had one failure to go into battery. Again, brand new gun. This is 124 grain ammunition. Gun's very accurate, I can tell you that much. It's easy to shoot. Gonna come up a little bit more here. I think what's going on there is I'm actually riding the slide release with my support hand. I think I have some, this is a P-Mag. A little slow. I don't know that the P-Mag's gonna work. Yeah, it's gonna cause it to failure go into battery because of the P-Mag. So that's something we'll have to, what's going on with the P-Mag is chances are it has something to do with insertion, and that's what causes that. The pistol though, how it feels when you shoot, it feels really nice. We'll keep shooting it, but I gotta load up a few more mags since I had some P-Mags loaded up. We'll see how it does. So let's try this other P-Mag just in case. The P-Mags won't work with this. Let's resume filming. I have now unloaded the Magpul P-Mags that I had for it. Like I said, they did not function whatsoever. So for me, it looks like what I'm doing, I can actually feel my palm coming up there and hitting that. So, you know, it's just, for me, it's really just gonna be something grip related that I can change. So yeah, you'll see, like I said, it's not getting locked back, but that's due, again, to the heel of my palm coming up and actually holding that there. So again, that's something grip related, not the pistol. However, though, how the pistol feels like under recoil and all that stuff does feel really good. No issues there after getting rid of those magazines. You know, the first few rounds, we had, let's say about 3 rounds failure to go into battery, just barely, and it is really just from the slide not returning all the way. Likelihood is that's due to just maybe some breaking in and things like that. However, the trigger on that feels really nice on here. So let me load up some more magazines and we'll keep going. So failure to go into battery there. The next ammo we're going to shoot now, this is 147 Federal, so we'll see how this does. And some of our 2011s that we have, whether it be a Staccato XC, a 2311, it just doesn't seem to want to feed 100% reliably, or at least let it chamber completely, and it seems to be maybe it's whether it's out of spec or it's just not right for it. So let's see how this does. Good, no issues there whatsoever. I'm trying to see what's going on, whether with the 124 grain, you know, Let's see, how many rounds have we shot through this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, about 175 so far. And we've had 6 or 7 stoppages. All of them were due to failure to return to battery completely. And then there was, you know, of course, some instances of me holding down that slide release. So the gun has not been 100% reliable. However, the fit and finish and how it shoots feels really nice. I would really liken this to the Springfield Prodigy out of the gate. When we got the Prodigy, the issue we had with that was the fact that sometimes extractions weren't all that great. Nothing really returning to battery, but extractions were great. I don't see, you know, any issues with extraction with this necessarily. But what I'll say is that so far, how it feels in your hand and how it shoots the trigger and all that stuff feels great. I mean, it's a really, really nice pistol. However, right now, I'm also not seeing really great reliability. So maybe it has a little bit of a break-in period. And so we'll keep shooting and see how that goes. Overall, though, like I said, the trigger, you know, the safety, magazine release, no issues, anything like that. It points well, it feels nice. Now for myself, we'll come over here and I'll show you. So when I come up here and like my grip on the pistol, you'll see my hands up here. And if you look, you can see that slide release is actually underneath like the palm of my heel. So when I come up and I'm really clamping down on the pistol, I'm actually holding that down and not allowing the slide to lock back. So that's kind of like where you run into some of these 2011s where they have, you know, nice recessed things, or they maybe have a nub that's down here, versus like with this one for myself, it actually, I can also feel it back here on my palm. And you can actually see right here where it's actually hitting my palm and actually causing a hot spot on my hand. It's not something I see on other 2011s, and, you know, and to bring you guys, of course, 100% transparency and honesty, they sent this pistol to us to try. I think it's a great pistol. However, it does have some drawbacks that I'm seeing. And, you know, as much as I may like that slide stop slide release because I'm able to hit it with my dominant hand when it's on the pistol, in the same token, it's also causing a hot spot on my support hand and I'm keeping it held down. So I don't know that that's worth like the trade-off of having that extended release. And of course, and like I said too, it's also possible that maybe some of those, you know, failure to go into battery is due to my shooting grip. You know, so I'll see if, you know, maybe that is what's causing that. But, you know, I think it's a nice pistol, you know, and it's probably one of those things that, you know, is it a platypus? No, I don't think it's that. But is it a good alternative with a Glock mags? You know, for 2011, I think it could be. We're going to do some reloads. I'm going to work on my grip a little bit here and see if I can adjust it for this gun. Maybe not. Yeah, it's... guys, I gotta be honest, I can't. It's really, I can't just like change my grip that much. It's just not possible for me. And I'm also not the type of person to go and be like, oh, I'm gonna shoot this gun and I'm just gonna know it's not gonna lock back and I'm gonna use it. This would be 100%, I would never carry this gun because of this. It also, like I said, is creating a pretty wicked hotspot for me. How you can release it with your support or your dominant hand is nice, but the fact that, you know, I can't get lock back with it because of that, it kind of sucks for me. You know, it's not the gun. It's not, you know, it is the gun when it comes to that. Like, I'm not getting that. I can't get locked back with this pistol, and I can't change my grip enough that feels comfortable for recoil control. When it's like with a 2311, I don't have to do that. With the Platypus, I've shot that, don't have to do that. With a 2011, don't have to do that. You know, but this pistol, for me to be able to shoot this thing and get locked back, I would have to completely alter my grip, and that's not something that I'm willing or gonna do. You know, I think it's a well-made pistol. It's just that that's a pretty significant flaw in my opinion. Yeah, it's, even when I try not to put pressure on this pistol to keep myself from pushing that, it's really just like that spot on my palm like that in my hand. Like, I don't, even when I'm really filling up the gap like you're supposed to and getting a proper grip, there's nothing I can do to stop this pistol from doing that. So I think it's a well done gun, but that's a pretty significant flaw for us. And, you know, as much as I don't want to, let's say, soil the waters per se, because I'm super happy that Fusion was nice enough to send this out for review, the pistol itself for me is it's a fail. I can't shoot this pistol how I would shoot all of my other guns. I don't get lock back because of the way I have to completely alter my grip, and even then it's just not comfortable, and it's a significant hot spot when you're shooting with a proper two-handed grip. I think, you know, to be completely honest, I think if you shot this pistol with a weak, crappy grip that isn't conducive for good recoil control, you wouldn't have any issues. But for myself, it doesn't work like that. I think the recoil cycle feels good, the trigger feels great, the safety is nice, how it actually shoots is really nice. However, for myself, this gun, I could never carry this, and I would never personally shoot this thing outside of a range setting for fun. It's extremely uncomfortable if I shoot like that. I get a lot more movement in the pistol than what I'm used to. You know, and again, at risk of just beating up on the pistol because of that, I'm gonna stop the review because I think the pistol is nice and it's got a lot of cool features and a lot of great ideas. However, this right here for me is like, you know, after shooting this, if I went to a range, I would never buy this pistol because of that. I think you would have to completely alter this and maybe get it changed out or get a smaller one or something like that for this pistol to be truly effective in the right hands. And for me, that's not it. I think it's a well-done pistol. You know, reliability stuff, it worked itself out after that. We're at like 250 rounds now with no issue. So reliability-wise, it seems okay. The beginning was a little bit sketchy, but now it seems like it's fine with no issues. KCI mags work. The magazines they shipped with the pistol work. Glock 19X mags do not work with this. P mags do not work with this. I think it's a really good concept. I don't think it's quite there, personally. I think it's a really nice pistol that, you know, we'll certainly reach out to Fusion about and discuss. And, you know, if it's something we think is going to deserve a follow-up review, we'll do that. Until then, stay tuned with Hunt, Fish, Shoot, and let us know your thoughts on the all-new Fusion XP Pro.